Hi there. So I told you today that we would read a story about a big fish, and we're going to. Then we're going to do a craft together. Remember that for the craft, I told you to see if you could get a glass jar or some type of jar like this that's clear from your mom or your dad or another grown-up. I'm using a spaghetti sauce jar that I ate the spaghetti sauce out of the other night and then washed to use. So you'll need something like this for our craft. You'll also need some paper and some crayons and some tape or glue. Okay, let's read our story first. The story is called Jonah and the Big Fish. One day, when Jonah was just minding his own business, God spoke to him. God said, "Jonah, I want you to go to Nineveh and tell the people that I know they aren't living the way I want them to. I want them to change their ways." Jonah may have started with the right idea, but once he started walking, Jonah began thinking about what a long walk it was to Nineveh. Jonah thought, I don't really want to go to Nineveh. I'll go the other way. God will never know. So Jonah walked and walked away from Nineveh. When Jonah got to the sea, he paid to get onto a boat to take him even farther away. Oh, Jonah yawned. All that walking made me tired. I'm going to take a nap. Jonah curled up on a pile of rope and fell asleep. But God saw Jonah. Whoosh! God sent a strong wind that tossed the ship to and fro. The sailors were so afraid that they started throwing things overboard to make the boat lighter and to save themselves. The sailors worried, "What's going on?" They woke Jonah up. "God is mad at me for not listening," Jonah said. "So throw me overboard." And they did. Suddenly, the sea was calm again. "Look out, Jonah! Here comes a big fish!" Gulp, gulp, gulp. The fish swallowed Jonah, and Jonah sat on the inside. Dark, smelly fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed, "Help me, God. I'm sorry." Finally, the fish spit Jonah out on the beach. Trudge, trudge, trudge. Jonah went to Nineveh. He told the people what God had said, and they believed him and changed the way they were living. God was happy that the people of Nineveh were now living as God wanted. The end. You know, sometimes we don't want to do what we're supposed to do, right? Sometimes when our parents ask us to clean our room, we don't really want to clean our room, do we? And so we pretend to, and we don't really do it. Well, it was kind of like that for Jonah. God wanted Jonah to go to Nineveh, and Jonah was afraid of Nineveh. He didn't want to go there. It was really far away, and the people weren't very nice. And so Jonah didn't listen, did he? And so God reminded Jonah. And unfortunately, it happened by being swallowed by a giant fish. That's no good. But when Jonah got out of the fish, he relied on God. He trusted God. And he went the rest of the way to Nineveh to tell the people what God wanted him to tell them. You know, God doesn't work that way with us anymore because Jesus has come to be our friend and to love us. And so instead of being swallowed by a big fish, we have this little voice inside of us that tells us what we should do and reminds us to do the right thing. So I encourage you to listen to that little voice when you want to do something and you know it's not quite right. That's God's way of telling you not to do it, right? Or if you see something important and you know you need to do it, that's God's way of telling you too. All right, are you ready to make a really cool craft? So we're going to take our jars like this. And I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to cut out and color some fish. So I did a big fish and I did a couple little fish. And then I did some coral like this and some seaweed. Whoops, my seaweed's kind of small, like this. So you're going to color those and cut them out, and then we're going to tape them onto the jar like a sea picture. All right, go pause this video, go get your jar and your paper, make your fish and your coral and your seaweed, glue it on how you want it, and then come back and show me, and I'm going to tell you the coolest part about this trick. Okay, see you then. Let's see how your jar turned out. Mine has my big fish, and there's some little fish and some coral on it like that. Let's see what yours looks like. Well, you worked really hard on that, didn't you? It looks really great. Now you can go do what I did. I put some water in my jar. Make sure it's sealed nice and tight. Make sure a grown-up helps you. And then you can have the sea be calm like this. And when Jonah gets in the boat, the sea gets crazy. And then God stops it because Jonah gets kicked off the boat. And the sea, oh, look at the little tornado I got going on in there. That's pretty cool. And then the sea gets calm. Pretty fun craft, huh? And this is something that you could keep. If you have blue food coloring, you could color the water blue. That would be really cool. I don't have any food coloring at my house, so I just put plain water in there. But that's pretty awesome, isn't it? So remember from our story today that it's important to listen to that voice in your heart. That's God telling you what he wants you to do or what you shouldn't do, right? Because that's the way that we follow God, and that's the way we learn to trust God. Well, thanks for joining me for a story and for doing a cool craft together. And I'll see you tomorrow. Remember that God loves you, and so do I. And tomorrow is Sunday, so let's come and worship together. See you then.